What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while. Haven't been riding much. I moved to a new state, so that's why the lack of videos. But with summer around the corner, we're going to start trying to ride again. So today's video is about installing some Domino grips. Picked these up on Revzilla for about 25 bucks. My grips are starting to get a little worn, so I think it's time to change them out and add a little more flair to the bike. These match the rims perfectly, so pretty stoked about that. Minimal tools needed for this install. Maybe a razor blade if you want to cut your old grips off. If you want to try to save them, you can. I think I'm just going to cut mine off. You're going to need an Allen key for your bar ends, and if you have bar end mirrors like me, you'll need to take these off as well. Air compressor. I'm doing the isopropyl alcohol method instead of the hairspray method, so hopefully this all works out. This is my first grip install, but seems easy enough. So with that being said, let's get to it. All right, once you get your bar ends off and your bar end mirrors, what you do is you take a little WD-40 and a very small flathead screwdriver and just spray a little WD in there and just start working the grip off little by little. Might take a second for the WD to get around the grip, but it should start to slide off. Here you go. And like I said, it'll take a minute for the WD to kind of work its way around. You might have to move the screwdriver around, give the space for the WD to work. Try to push out on the grip. Try not to damage your handlebar or your throttle tube or whatever side you're working on. You can see already it's coming loose. And give these a little bit to dry. You don't want to just go smacking your new grips on there because the WD is still going to be on there. So we'll give them about 10-15 minutes to dry, and then I'm going to come back, rub some isopropyl alcohol on them and try to clean them up real good, try to get that slight film of lubrication off, and then we can go ahead and install the new grips there. Also, while you guys are at it, it's a good time to start cleaning up some of these parts off your bike. This came off, this was one of the bar ends, but you can see all this gunk in here. I'm just going to take a wire brush to it. It just helps maintain the bike. That way these things are getting, gunked up and seized on there and make it more difficult for you to remove next time. All right, guys, next step of the installation. Let's get to installing the grips. A few things to note. Make sure you have your text the way you want it. I'm going to have mine facing me, so when I'm riding, I can read that it says Domino. The grip that is more firm is going to be your clutch side. It's going to be the left-hand side of the bike. The other grip is a little bit more flimsy. That's going to be your throttle side. So make sure you're installing the right side. Make sure the text is facing the way you want it. And I'm just going to go ahead and pour some isopropyl alcohol in the bar, or in the grip, and on the bar. It might take you a few tries. This stuff evaporates pretty quick, so same thing for the other side. Make sure your grip is oriented in the right way. Important things to note after you get your grip installed is make sure your throttle tube is snapping back. This is very important. You do not want a sticky throttle. I think that's why they include this here on Yamaha, at least, to make sure that it's not right up against that and it can still spin freely. I think this side will go on easier than the clutch side due to this being smooth and the metal on the clutch side is slightly porous, or not porous, textured. So I think this end will go on easier. Again, just make sure you have the orientation the way you want it. It did take some force to get that one on and a couple of tries, but keep working it, and you might need someone else to hold the bike. Mine's on a rear stand right now, but when you go to push, the bike starts to tip a little bit. So you might need someone to help you, especially if you have a smaller bike. But again, just make sure this snaps back. So let's get started on this side. All right, guys, so I did end up getting it. It only took me 2 tries. What ended up working for me, it's pretty difficult to put constant pressure on this without like really kind of hurting your arm or your elbow, and I have a bad wrist. But going around to the other side of the bike and then pulling from this direction with one hand and then kind of twisting with the other and kind of hitting it like that. And that way, as you're exerting force on the bike as well, you're also preventing it from moving and tipping at the same time. So it did go on. Throttle is snapping back like intended. So that's perfect. And it looks like they're going to fit. Like, now just give this a while. I'm going to roll it out into the sun and hopefully help evaporate that, that rubbing alcohol. So once that is done, go ahead and reinstall your bar ends, and you might have to trim these a little bit depending on what bar ends you're rocking or what manufacturer bike you have, because once you put those bar ends on, it can still cause issues. So just because it's snapping back with the mirrors and the bar ends off doesn't mean it's going to when you install your bar ends. So make sure you install your bar ends and then double check. But both the grips are facing my way. I think I have them like perfectly centered, which is awesome. Very happy with the install. And these feel really nice too, nice and grippy. So with that being said, guys, that's the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. And again, nice $25. Took an hour to install. Half the reason because I'm making a video, but should only take you about 30 minutes if you're proficient with it. So anyways, guys, thanks for checking it out. Hope you guys like this one. Leave a comment down below if you have any questions, and I'll do my best to get back to you. Peace.